Hiya, it's Jim. It's Saturday afternoon, part 3 of Voyage 34. I'm getting there slowly, and this is part 3. Yeah, just said that. Nothing else to say. Let's get this ready to go. 3, 2, 1, bosh. A reprise of the last moments of the last phase.
The LSD trip is a pilgrim trip, far beyond normal mind, to that risky and revelatory territory, which has been explored for thousands of years. By mystics, visionary philosophers. I say nothing less. Speedy evolution. Indigenous religion.
This reminds me of the Orb a lot. That's Future Sound of London as well. They did a song called Papua New Guinea. Just has little elements of that to this as well. Nice. I love the effect on that arpeggio, the filter opening and closing. I'm guessing automated by an LFO. Hi-hat's quite harsh. That's been over-compressed onto YouTube. So good. Absolutely gorgeous. I love on some of these old recordings that were made in the 90s. This was recorded in the 90s, or was released in 2000, where people were compiling these sort of patchwork, was like collages of sound to make these sort of soundscapey things. There is so much noise recorded in here because there's hiss from a tape which comes in and comes out, there's clicks and pops and stuff. This all just forms part of the overall aesthetic of this piece of music. You can hear the hiss now. Excellent. That's just under 20 minutes, 1923 of Porcupine Tree from 2000's Voyage 34, Phase 3 that was. One more to go, which is a little bit longer. That's 20 minutes 45. So that one is yet to come. You might see me sort of smiling to myself. I was reading some stuff on here, which are quotes from Stephen Wilson. Isn't he a clever guy? So during a 2002 interview before the release of In Absentia, Stephen Wilson said the following in regards to the release of Voyage 34, after being asked why the band released a 30-minute single. He said, it was an anti-single. It was a 30-minute single about drugs and it had no vocals in it. I thought no one is going to play this, but it charted anyway. It was the ultimate fuck you. We have released 4-minute singles since then, but for Porcupine Tree to release a single is a bit of an oxymoron. It's very difficult to take out 4-minute chunk from the album and say, here you go. And this totally encapsulates everything Porcupine Tree are about. It's never been satisfactory to me to release a single. So that's kind of that's so clever. I really like that. And interesting for me is just listening to that. I'm sort of recognising, apart from obviously the how great that sounds. I'm recognising sort of a lot of the techniques and the things that have gone on in probably not even in the studio, but in the studio to sort of to make those sounds as the slow filter sweep on that arpeggio, sort of going up and coming down, sort of opening and closing, sort of synced into a really slow LFO, probably troughing and peaking over the course of 16 bars or 8 bars or something. So you get this sort of really slow rise and a slow back down again. And if you can do that, attach the different functions of a synth to an LFO, you get it to sort of be automated like that. And then, as just say, yes, this absolute patchwork, so obviously of samples and noises and sound, just sort of all brought together. And so, I read or listened to an interview with Alex Patterson from the Orb once about when they did their music. A lot of it was just like they had everything playing at the same time, and rather than sort of firing it all off as different samples at different points, it was just all on repeat, and they just sort of play it live and record it live by bringing the faders up and bringing the faders down to bring different bits in, and it's kind of probably a little bit how this was done as well. And it's just absolutely brilliant. I love this. I really, really love this. It's just genius, and it fits in to the Porcupine Tree canon. It's very different from a lot of what the other stuff is. Again, I was reading on here about what Stephen Wilson was saying about it. There was a point during the 90s, there's an explosion in ambient music, a fusion of electronic and techno with the philosophy of people like Brian Eno. Love a bit of Brian Eno. And Tangerine Dream as well. I thought there was going to be I thought there was an interesting opportunity to do something that would bring progressive rock and psychedelia into that mixture. So I did it. And I wouldn't say that Voyage 34 was a technical exercise that makes it sound like a science project, but it was a one-off experiment in a particular genre in which I knew I wouldn't be staying for very long. So it goes on to then say blah, 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 blah. I was always interested in existing outside the bubble of whatever was hip, and that kind of music was very, very briefly hip. Voyage 34 sits inside that bubble, and I'm still very proud of it. It's a unique piece of music, but of all the catalogue, it's the one piece that relates most closely to the era in which it was created. There you go. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It's brilliant. It's I've not heard these pieces before, and now to discover them 20 odd years later is great. So yes, again, thanks to everybody who's recommended this. Thank you to everyone who's listened to these and enjoyed them, and hope you continue to enjoy them. We have one more to go, which we'll get round to hopefully in the next week. And I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever and whatever that is. And until then, this is Jim over and out.